RDP will come at the price of the West Island.
Oui, on va recommencer ça.
Sois plus enthousiaste. Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue à la Game du Courtage. Partie 2 avec Sebastiano et Adriano, puis mon collègue David Bélanger. Je vais le laisser continuer, il était bien parti.
Moi, je trouve que toi, t'es bien parti quand même, là. Mais pour faire suite un peu avec ce qu'on discutait dans le premier épisode, en fait, tu sais, toi, Adriano, en même temps, côté secteur, un peu, ce serait quoi ton idéal que tu t'aurais à choisir un secteur, en fait, que tu voulais...
Fait que c'est sûr, mettons, en termes de comme practical area, ça serait comme quelque chose de central à Montréal ou dans les alentours. Puis même pour ma blonde aussi, ça la rapprocherait du travail.
Mais Montréal, c'est grand. Hein? Moi, on rencontre beaucoup de clients. Montréal et les alentours. C'est Montréal, c'est grand, puis les alentours, c'est grand.
C'est encore plus grand, tu sais.
Là, fait que dans le fond, est-ce que tu cherches un prix ou tu cherches une localisation?
Ben, pour être complètement honnête avec toi, I have no idea. Like, j'ai pas, tu sais, comme... Je le sais pas.
Do you have areas that you like more than others?
I would say, est-ce que genre Rosemont, la petite patrie, c'est comme central-ish?
Ouais, si tu as de l'argent, c'est correct.
C'est quand même dispendieux, comme tu dis, mais oui, c'est quand même central. Ouais.
Ça serait comme...
Antique serait raisonnable. Antique, c'est Rosemont, c'est en haut, l'autre, c'est en bas. C'est centre toutes les deux. Côté prix, c'est plus avantageux Antique.
C'est ça. Il y a quand même des très beaux emplacements aussi. Mettons, Antique, c'est quand même cher aussi. Là.
Ça, pour moi, personnellement, comme the location is not as important as it is for my girlfriend because elle travaille toujours au même endroit. Fait que c'est comme anything that's closer to there like is a winner for us or for her, I would say.
For us.
It's girlfriend, future wife.
Yes, exactly.
Ah, OK. We're getting there.
Désolé, mais dis pas de la pression comme ça, là.
Après 5 ans.
This is definitely getting cut out of the podcast, but it's okay. No, I'm joking. But
He's going to cut this out. He's going to edit this section out, so it's okay.
But like, let's say for me personally, like, I'm never at a fixed location. Like I go pretty much everywhere in Montreal for shoots.
Yeah, but you still traffic. Traffic will kill your time. Time is money.
Yeah, for sure. But I think wherever I am, there's going to be traffic. Like no matter where. Like if I have to go to Laval for a shoot and I'm in Montreal, like there's going to be traffic. Or if I have to go to the west or the east, like there's always going to be traffic.
Yeah, but for now you live in which sector?
Right now I live in Lachenay.
So Lachenay, quand même tu passes sur le pont pour venir à Montréal. So you know what? Ta traffic time durant les heures de pointe, là, it's an hour.
Yeah.
Attends. Lachenay, tu dois prendre le pont pour venir à Montréal.
Ben oui, il y a le pont pour traverser pour venir à Montréal.
Oui.
Le pont?
Ben oui, il y a le pont.
Mais non.
Le pont de la 40.
Dans la 40, c'est pas un pont. Là. Pour
Ben
moi,
oui,
quand
c'est
tu
un
parles
pont.
de
Il y a un
pont,
pont,
tu parles
t'as
pont
ouais.
Champlain, pont... Tu sais, non.
Non, c'est pas le pont Jean-Cartier, mais c'est quelque chose qui traverse l'eau.
I don't even know. I just called it the 40.
The Ford.
Yeah, me too.
La 40.
La 40.
Dans
Mais c'est
la
un pont.
40.
Tu passes par-dessus l'eau.
Je sais, mais tu sais, quand même, c'est pas...
When he goes home at night, like at 4 o'clock, it's rough.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, how long it takes you?
It depends. Like let's say yesterday.
La dernière sortie, là.
Yesterday, I left from Jean Talon to go home at 4. It was like 4:10. I got home at like 5:30.
5:30?
Oh, tu vois?
Ça, oui, c'est beau.
Puis même des fois quand je pars de Laval, like les heures de pointe, it takes me an hour 10 sometimes. Like
La 40, c'est jamais.
le
That's
25.
because Lachenay is not located close to, like it's closer to the 40 than it is to the 640.
Yeah.
Well,
So
But they meet.
they meet, yes.
yeah.
But
I'm at that intersection of the 40 and the 640. But there's still like, let's say if I'm leaving from Laval, there's gonna be traffic on the 25.
Yeah.
Then to get onto the 640, and then if I'm leaving from Montreal, then there's traffic on the 40 all the time.
Avant, le 25, là, je te dis, il y a 2 ans, was no traffic on le 25. Maintenant, j'arrive chez nous à 4h, 5h. Là. Le monde sont rendus sur la voie de service pour rentrer à la dernière sortie Super-Up, ça me crée du service. Je suis obligé de détourner sur Maurice-Duplessis pour éviter.
Oh, c'est pas facile, hein?
C'est dur, la vie. Hein?
Ah, ben, tu dois sacrer dans ton auto, hein?
Non, je reste vieilli, je suis plus sage maintenant.
Quand je l'appelle, pour vrai, garanti que je parle avec lui au téléphone 5 minutes, il est en voiture, il klaxonne au moins 2 fois. Facile. Ou il envoie promener gentiment, toujours très gentiment. Un passager de non,
Non, je m'en rappelle pas. J'ai des blancs de mémoire.
Des fois, c'est ça qui arrive, hein, des fois. L'âge fait que... Mais parlant d'emplacement, tu sais, toi, mettons, Seb, je sais que tu as acheté à Anjou. C'était-tu vraiment le... sais, comme quand Adriano disait, tu sais, lui, c'est pas vraiment un secteur qu'il recherche, c'est vraiment peut-être plus la propriété comme telle et côté prix. Mais toi, est-ce que Anjou, c'était vraiment là que tu voulais aller ou ça a été une question de circonstance qui a fait que tu as finalement acheté ton plex Anjou?
Avant que tu répondes, là. OK? Tes parents habitent où?
À Rivière-du-Péry,
Tes beaux-parents habitent où?
à Laval.
OK. Bon, vas-y, maintenant tu peux répondre à la question.
Okay, so
C'était quoi, c'était
the answer was it depends. Il y avait juste our sector that we was like off limits, and it was because of the misses is not back in RDP.
OK.
So I didn't necessarily want to go to Laval.
RDP, ben, tu sais que ton courtier ici à côté, il ne vit que pour RDP. Tu lui parles la meilleure place au monde où vivre, il va dire Rivière-des-Prairies.
It's also one of the cheaper locations still on the island.
And me, I predict that RDP will come at the price of the West Island.
Wow.
It will come with time.
Steve,
Yes,
hey,
I'm
dis pas
telling
ça.
you guys.
Coupe ça du
Dans
coupe
10 ans, je vous le dis,
Mais
il n'y a
non,
plus de terrain
mais
nulle part à part Rivière-des-Prairies. À moins que
Même à Rivière, il n'y en a pas tant de terrain.
Il y en a
That's
encore.
what I'm gonna say about RDP. Everyone thinks RDP is like the next St. Leo. St. Leo is so unaffordable that RDP will never reach those limits. Just because, not just that, the way St. Leo was built, they're bigger buildings.
Yeah.
They're you look at 5 units that the main floor is like a 7-bedroom, a 9-bedroom. I walked into some of these places, it's like, it's unbelievable how big they are. RDP doesn't have that same style of heritage.
They don't have as many,
You're right, as many.
but they have because I have
Yes,
one.
but they have more houses in RDP than they do in St. Leo and vice versa.
Yeah, because the generation, they want a house. They don't want to manage anymore.
But St. Leo's is better situated because it's more central than RDP and closer to the bigger auto routes and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of, I come from RDP, I love RDP, but now living in Anjou, I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back though. J'ai dit, I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back because how well situated I am in Anjou, that I'm right beside the 25 and the 40, it takes me 5 seconds to get.
But don't say that. I live in RDP. I'm next to the
Yes, but hold on. You're 4th Avenue. Yeah, 4th Avenue. I used to live 72nd, and everything past, like, we'll say, Armand. After Armand, it becomes very hectic to get onto the highway.
Yeah.
So let's avoid the RDP conversation.
Okay. But if you will be in my area, you will live there.
That's a different story. It's because it's borderline Montreal North.
Ouais. Mais Adriano, toi, Rivière-des-Prairies, ce serait-tu une place où tu voudrais?
Ben moi, ma blonde, elle habite à la Rivière-des-Prairies. Fait que déjà là, c'est comme un non parce que elle est plus capable du trafic.
There you go. So traffic is a rough time.
Because she works in the West End.
Where does she live in RDP?
27th.
Okay, it's not so bad.
It's not so bad, 27.
Close to the 25, but...
Okay.
Okay, but I could guarantee you want kid?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the conversation we had. I didn't want to go to Laval because I said I'm not ready for retirement, and that's what Laval is to me. Like Laval for me, not to be mean. Hold on. Côté Vimont, Val-des-Bries, where the Italians are going. Vimont, Val-des-Bries, and all that stuff. Like it's where you want to have kids. You have a nice lot. You have a lot of space and all this stuff. It's beautiful. It's great, but it's like I'm far away from things. And yes, you can live in Vimont and you're pretty central. Like you take the 19 and you're in Montreal very quickly. But I just didn't want to go that far. Like I have nothing against Laval, but I'd rather if I want to buy a nice big house, I'll go to Laval. If I want to buy a nice condo because there's new development, I'll go to Laval. But I'm like, I refuse to go to Laval. But we still started looking at Laval, even though she's completely disbarred RDP. We still looked at Laval, and Laval is more expensive than a lot of places in Montreal. So I refused to pay that price when I can get better opportunity. But again, for me, it was opportunity of value add. So I was willing to put in the work because they're older buildings. Laval is newer buildings. So I was okay putting in the work. I knew that I was coming in and ripping down everything inside the place. So it didn't bother me to buy an older building, and I was going to take care of it as long as the foundation and the structural was good. Mm-hmm. So that's why we started looking at Laval, and then she kind of got discouraged because we went and visited maybe like 5 or 6, and it was just too expensive, and the numbers didn't make sense. You were the broker, yes. You came to the 2 in Laval. There's two other ones that we drove. We just want to see, but we want to see a 4-unit in Laval, and it was expensive. It was like the 4-unit was like close to 9, and it was way past the budget, but for the down payment, but not for the aftermath. So that's why we ended up looking in Saint Michel. Saint Michel is a good area. Again, good area in the sense of there's opportunity, but necessarily to live there, I don't think I would want to live there. And it was the same for my girlfriend. Huntsick is a market I loved, beautiful market, but bit on the pricier side for my budget at the time. That's it. And that's another thing you're going to experience with financing and budget-wise. Your issue is going to be that you're self-employed. So to the bank, self-employed is an issue in the sense they want to see 2 years of backdated taxes and income statements showing growth, showing that you're stable. Your profit.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend is going to be very strong because she's an employee.
Yeah.
Which to the bank is like number one, and she's been there for a while. So that's going to be another thing to consider as well. So,
well, side note, I am technically employed with the agency that I work for.
Okay, then
so
we're good.
I have kind of like a half-half.
That's good. Then
Thing. So maybe
that's perfect.
like best
that's
of both
perfect.
worlds.
That
Like, I
adds.
don't know.
Well, it's good because at least you can show minimum of 25 hours to 40 hours of paid employee.
Yeah.
And the rest is like extra on the side, and the bank will value that. So they'll see that there's, but they'll mostly like 80% of the files can be built on your employment, which is probably going to be lower than what you probably make compared to the side, right?
Right now, no. But
okay, so
right now it's really 50-50.
That's good.
I would say. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. So so for back to what we were saying, region, I settled in Anjou, and I love Anjou now. It's beautiful. And I'm not even on the nicer side of Anjou. Je suis comme côté l'est du 25, pas côté Galerie d'Anjou where c'est haut de gamme, on va dire.
Yeah, but you know good section.
I know, but it's really there. It's like street by street. You can miss a street later, right? So c'est vraiment un secteur a bit rougher, but côté Galerie d'Anjou is more côté Saint-Léonard, Nouveau-Rosemont and everything. So it's a nicer market in Montreal. But I think, like you said, Huntsick, like I wanted to live in Villeray and Petit-Patrie. That's like my go-to. And it's still one of my dreams to own a building there one day. But right now it's just not in the budget.
So, okay.
So.
And you will say to wait to buy? Is it time to buy or no?
I wouldn't say wait to buy. I think there's always an opportunity to buy. I don't like people who say they try to time the market. So I don't look at it as there's no opportunity. I just look at it as you have to search maybe a bit harder to find the opportunity. There's two cycles. There's a buyer's market and there's a seller's market. Yeah. There's always opportunity on both sides to either find a place that you like or to make money in an investment purpose. You just got to be more patient depending on the market. Whereas like you guys mentioned on your podcast, I saw it on TikTok, you guys said 2 years ago when the interest rates are high, and you guys say people don't listen, but we're watching. So the interest rates are high, it was the time to buy. And that was the time to buy because there was more negotiation powers where I'm sure they can tell you right now, if you go and make an offer on a place, you're not going to be the only offer anymore.
No, impossible.
Ça dépend toujours. C'est sûr que ça dépend toujours du prix demandé et tout, mais c'est sûr que les
Les turnkey, ils se vendent pas mal rapide. Ceux qui ont des travaux, c'est comme le monde sont rendus paresseux, ils veulent plus faire les travaux.
Mais ça a toujours été comme ça. Ça a souvent été comme ça. C'est les gens qui sont manuels. La majorité de nos clients, on va dire à 85%, ils veulent avoir de quoi de clé en main. Qui arrivent puis qu'à la limite, ils n'ont même pas besoin de peinturer.
Ouais.
Ça a toujours été
mais
plus.
even to paint.
Pour rajouter à David aussi, c'est pas juste être manuel, c'est aussi tu as besoin des fonds.
Le temps aussi pour
le temps des fonds. Like, it's not everyone who knows that you can go get a loan from the bank for renovations, and not every bank is going to give the loan because you might not be at your end of your ratios. So for him, he's like, I'm a bit more labor intensive. My father's taught me some of these things. I can do it. But then it's also the fact that like I have to spend money to make it the way I want. So some people's like, I'd rather just pay it and 80% of it gets financed by the bank. But
He pays for everything.
this man works hard. So he's got time. Time is money, like you told him. He doesn't have time for this, like.
You have to make time. I have kids, I go to sport, and I still have time to take my time to do it.
Hold on. Is your place still done? I'll answer this. By the way, this is not throwing you under the bus. Same thing with me. I still have my backsplash to do. It's still not done. It's 7 years ago.
You look, the house is livable. I still have.
Quand ça commence comme ça, c'est vivable, mais tu sais.
The only thing that it didn't finish in my house, okay, it's to the main floor, puis le basement, j'ai pas peinturé les baseboards puis les portes, puis les cadrages. I will have to take 2 days to paint it. Mais tu sais, c'était pas un rush, tu comprends? Puis là, puis tu sais quoi, ce qui m'énerve le plus, c'est quand c'est vite, ça aurait été plus vite. Puis là, j'ai tous les meubles qui sont là.
Faut tout bouger, non?
Là, il faut que je bouge. Là, il faut que je tasse le sofa. Puis juste penser que je dois les bouger, ça me tente pas de le faire. It's bad, but it is what it is. So sometimes, my 3.5 downstairs is not fully complete. But you know what? I started working on it now. So now I ordered my stuff, my kitchen. I said I'm going to do the kitchen. I installed the toilet. I'm going to
Do you ask your son to help you sometimes with the work, with the jobs?
Who?
Your son?
Yeah. I tell him it's time. Well, you know what? I tell my son, and this is what I love when you have kids, and they're 16, 17.
Sleeves.
I don't want to do it. I said, if you don't want to, you know what? If you have to call your friend, ask your friend. This is what we're going to do this weekend. You know what? He's in a group chat. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. So now I have 2-3 kids to do the work.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah. Free labor.
Il abuse de
Non.
Non seulement de ton fils, de ses amis
Look
aussi.
what he's gonna say. He's like, I'm teaching them a valuable lesson.
C'est ça qu'il va dire.
Puis je vais dire, mon temps, c'est de l'argent. Fait que là, je vais t'en prendre
Just give them
plus.
some food, order some pizza.
Yeah. Guarantee. They have food. I fed them and everything. They have a good time because they're with me.
But now that we brought this up, look, we have our perspective on we put in the time. David bought it turnkey. For you and your girlfriend, that's another point. Is that something that you guys... So I'll tell you right now, my girlfriend and I, we don't fight. We fought when we were doing this place. Like there were times, I swear to God, it was like one of those like...
Tu vas le mettre dans le mur puis plastrer le mur.
Like, plaster over, don't even look back. The body will be coming out in a couple of years. But it was one of those... We never fought, but it was little things because you're stressed, you're annoyed, you're trying to solve other problems, and then you guys bicker for no reason. So is that something that you and your girlfriend, do you see yourselves putting the time and effort? How busy you guys already
We'll probably
are?
have to have the conversation, I think.
There you go.
We haven't had it, so it's probably time.
Tu sais aussi, qu'est-ce qui est plate, c'est quand tu fais les travaux puis tu habites dedans, là. C'est salissant, t'es pas chez vous, t'as beaucoup de bruit et tout. Il y a tout ça à calculer aussi parce que souvent, comme on en avait parlé.
Parce que de plus, like, we're young, so you're probably still living at your parents?
Yeah.
So we're still living at our parents, so right now we would stay there, fais les rénaux, and then quand c'est prêt, tu rentres. Parce que t'as raison, si tu déménages là-dedans, t'es en train de faire les rénaux, forget it. Like, it's worse, because then t'es plus pressé pour tout faire.
Puis, you know what? C'est très dur sur un couple. Hein? It's very hard for a couple. Puis, je le dis tout le temps, parce que moi, j'ai beaucoup de clients qui, tu sais, j'ai 50% de ma clientèle qui sont prêts à faire les rénovations. Puis, je leur dis, guys, moi, je l'ai fait 6 fois avec ma femme. OK? And we're okay with it. Yeah, we're going to bicker, or the advantage is with me and my wife, it's she wants stuff, but I install it. So if I don't like it, I'm not going to install it. You understand? This is the beauty of it.
You can say no.
I could say no. Okay. Or she's going to give me or she's going to give me the palette de couleurs and I don't like them and I find they're a bit too dark. But I'm going to go to the paint shop and say, just make it lighter. Not when I put it and I paint and say, it's not the color. I said, but this is what you picked. You understand? Yeah. So this you could cut it on the... But you know what? She knows. You know, she's going to say, you're lying. And I'm laughing because I'm not a liar at all.
It's not that bad because my girlfriend was more that she's indecisive. Like, we went and checked we went and checked for floors. 6 times, same floor company, and we chose a floor that she picked out the first time, and it's only because I had to tell her this is the floor we're going to choose, and I had to bring it to the front of the building, which had more sunlight, and she's like, finally, but that's 6 times of going, and it's like, so
it's a lot of time,
so that's what I'm saying, like, there's other factors, or like, she was...
And you know construction, sometimes they want something, and you're like, you know that it's very extra work, and you don't want to do it, because technically it will not change much. Say just do, just put that wall a bit like that. No, I want the wall out, but the work is behind it, and then they don't understand it, and
But like numbers wise, does it make more sense to get something that you want to have to put work in, or is it?
So we've had this conversation, and David too has had this conversation with us. It's just a matter of perspective for yourself. It depends on, and I'm with Steve on investment-wise, but I do agree with David when it comes to you living in the house. Okay. And when you live in a house, I don't think you should consider it an investment because, like my father says, or most people say, your house is your biggest investment, but a house is not an investment. The house is just a place that you live, and you're paying for peace of mind. So when people say, I don't know if I got a good price on it, or do you think I got a good price on it? I hate to answer that question because it's a matter of perspective. Are you happy with your purchase? If you're happy with your purchase, then you're fine. You don't have to think about anything else. So with that perspective, if the plan is to either, I bought my duplex and converted it to a triplex because it's going to reduce my monthly income, so I was okay with it. Did it increase in value? Yes. So if I ever want to sell it, I made a profit. But it wasn't, I don't plan on selling this place. So right now, that money's kind of just sitting dormant. It's not doing anything.
And for like your properties, when you bought, were they cash flow positive the moment you got them, or it was always like
the first 2 were cash flow positive because I bought them like 10 years ago.
Okay.
but that was the time.
Yeah.
But nowadays,
Today
there's no
it's
such
hard.
thing.
It's
There's no
impossible,
such
okay.
thing. But that's why, like,
Could make them cash.
you could make them cash flow, but you have to be creative on the way you purchase, on the purchase price, and also what you add value to, right? So now the duplex maybe is kind of cash flow positive because, again, right now it's cash flow positive because I have a 1.6% interest rate, which is unheard of anymore. So I'm renewing in February, so it probably won't be anymore after that because I have 2 tenants paying me. But after that, I'll still be able to live for maybe just having to pay my taxes every month.
Okay.
Which is great.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I saw the value of that as important for me because I wanted to be able to take more risks on my investment side. I wanted to start investing in other places that maybe would require a bit more capital. So that's what my decision was. But I have friends who bought nice big houses because they're planning to start a family. So that's what they wanted, and they don't ever look at the place as like an issue. And they renovated what they wanted to renovate, and then the rest was they're happy with it, and we're not going to touch more than that. So it really depends on if you're going to plan to live there, then I don't think it's ever a good or bad investment. It's just what are you comfortable and happy with making as a decision.
Puis tu sais, quand ils parlent, mettons, d'acheter un duplex ou un triplex puis habiter dedans, tu sais, faut être conscient aussi que tu vas avoir des locataires aussi, hein.
Oui.
Tu sais, fait que, tu sais, il y a ça aussi des fois, mettons, même, tu vas parler avec ta blonde, tu sais, il y a certaines personnes qui voudront pas nécessairement être chez eux puis avoir des locataires qui sont en haut ou, mettons, en bas parce que nécessairement, ça arrive de quoi, mais ils vont directement aller chez toi. Fait que c'est quelque chose aussi à mettre, tu sais, quand tu viens pour faire un achat.
Tu sais, je veux dire, la prochaine étape, c'est un logement. Fait que no matter what, il va y avoir du monde autour de lui.
Well, hold on. That depends if if he wants to just leave the house, then yeah, he'll rent. But it doesn't mean he's going to go rent. Maybe he's just saving up to buy the house.
Yeah, but not now.
So you don't know. Like, we're Italian, so for us, it's normal to stay in the house with our parents, especially if
We are Italian.
Mais David,
Mais moi, je me suis pas senti concerné. Moi, j'ai fait le truc. Non, c'est.
ça passe, il didn't even reflect.
Non,
C'est-
moi, j'ai fait comme si rien n'était.
Il se convertit, ça, ça.
Il a commencé avec ses espressos.
Une évolution.
So it depends. Like, if he's comfortable at home and the relationship's good at home and his parents are not telling him, like, you need to get out,
Yeah.
or his girlfriend's not saying we need to move in together, there's no rush. So then he has the time to save up the money.
Exactly. Because now the kids, they live around 30 years old. Back then, we used to live between 23 to 25, 26.
Avec mon frère, je pense 21 ou 22, 21. Je
C'est
me rappelle
young.
plus exactement, mettons. Là.
Il est parti avec ton frère.
Oui. Ouais. Ah, ben, tout seul, je sais pas si j'aurais été seul.
Combien
ça.
tu payais de loyer quand tu es allé en logement, toi?
Ben, moi, c'est sûr que j'ai été dans un 6 logements que mon ami avait acheté. Fait que je m'arrête, écoute. Écoute, je veux pas dire n'importe quoi, ça devait être à peu près 650. 700 peut-être, mais je sais pas, grosso
Pour un
modo.
4,5?
And so that was expensive dans le temps.
Ouais, mais il était rénové quand même.
But that's why c'était cher dans le temps. Mais un 4,5,
C'était combien
6,50.
par semaine?
Ben, là, je travaillais dans les clubs, là, je
Ouais.
sais pas, c'est tellement, ça dépend, là. Tu sais, quand on est travailleur autonome, en fait, tu aussi, tu vas avoir des bonnes semaines avec des bons clients. Tu sais, comme nous aussi, dans
Ouais.
l'immobilier, on est comme ça aussi, de avoir des bonnes années, des bons mois. Fait que, tu sais, quand t'es barman, ça dépend aussi des soirées, tu sais, comment que le club marche, puis tout. Fait que je te dirais que c'est très instable, admettons, là. Tu sais, mais je suis souvent travaillé jeudi, vendredi, samedi. Je m'en suis toujours quand même bien tiré, mais côté combien que je faisais par... Je pouvais...
As-tu du stress des fois que ça va pas bien
Non,
marcher?
ça a jamais... Pour moi, non, ça n'a jamais été. C'est quelque chose que moi, puis Claude, on est très différents. Ma conjointe, tu sais, elle est beaucoup très sur préparer les choses, savoir exactement qu'est-ce qu'on doit payer, puis tout. Moi, ça m'a jamais vraiment mis un stress pour moi. Tout était quand même payé tout le temps, fait que ça n'a jamais été quelque chose pour moi qui a été stressant.
Claude
mettons.
qui paye les billes. Il sait pas, lui, il n'y a pas de stress, il sait pas combien il doit. C'est pas son hydro, c'est pas son téléphone, combien ça coûte par mois. Fait que c'est sûr, moi non plus, je n'aurais pas de stress.
On est une équipe.
Oh, il vient de le dire. On est une équipe. Fait que c'est l'équipe Bélanger.
Je parlais pas pour l'immobilier,
Ok,
je parlais
ok.
pour le reste. Mais oui.
C'est pour ça aussi que moi j'attends d'acheter parce que where I am now, like in my life, I'm just reinvesting everything in my business.
Yeah.
So the property is like second. It's like the second
There you
project.
go.
Like right now, I'm focusing 100% on this.
So you give yourself another 2 years.
Yeah, I would give myself another 2 years. My girlfriend, she's trying to cut it to 1 year. So,
See, it's already started.
but it's putting pressure on me to make more money now. So I guess
That's good.
you know it's
good.
a good thing too. You know.
I always put pressure on, man.
Well, they expect the best of us, you know. Well, I can't complain. Like I said, we don't fight, and she believes in me a lot, so it's good, you know.
Mais toi aussi, tu crois, hein? Puis, tu sais, je pense quand même que être à deux, quand tu as une bonne relation, tu sais, quand même, ça t'aide dans toutes les sphères de ta vie, que ce soit au travail, même dans,
Moi, j'ai toujours
dans le
dit,
day-to-day.
pour réussir, là, il faut que tu aies une femme en arrière de toi. une femme qui comprend et qui pousse.
Qui t'encourage aussi, tu sais, qui croit en toi beaucoup.
croit.
Comme tu disais, maintenant, qui croit en toi parce que.
It will never work.
I know I feel blessed that she gives me the space and time to work on my stuff. And,
Because you do work.
yeah. And she sees it too. Like she's.
Attends, travaille.
Non. Commence pas. là.
T'arrêtes pas de dire t'arrêtes pas de dire que t'es
Je
un one
comprends qu'il a
take.
débuté le podcast la semaine passée.
Il travaille en double parce qu'il fait plus de travail.
Oui, parce que il doit être en deux parce qu'il delay des podcasts, fait que là, il faut qu'il retravaille de plus. Fait que ouais, c'est vrai que c'est vrai. C'est vrai, non, c'est vrai.
Écoute, on va se laisser là-dessus. Dans le fond, merci d'être venu. J'espère qu'on a répondu à tes questions. Mais si on n'y a pas répondu, bon, tu fais notre podcast, c'est ça, c'est toujours la semaine prochaine. Si tu le délites pas.
C'est ça, oui, celle-là. S'il vous plaît, sauvegarde-les, celle-là, s'il te plaît. Là, hein.
Mais je te laisse le mot de la fin.
Non, écoute,
ou,
mais vraiment, écoute, on va sûrement vous réinviter. C'est super cool, vraiment. C'est deux perspectives qui sont différentes, côté investisseur et côté quelqu'un qui prévoit mettre le pied dans l'immobilier bientôt.
Ouais,
donc,
puis ça, lui, il commence là-dedans, puis en même temps, il y a des décos avec sa femme, tout ça, comment regarder.
It was like a therapy session.
c'est gratuit, c'est correct. On ne te chargera pas.
C'est ça, c'est gratuit celle-là, OK?
Fait que, bonne semaine à tout le monde. On se voit la semaine prochaine.
Merci, ciao.